Dr. Liz Fountain. I am a senior lecturer in the IT management department.
And I'm Dr. Laura Williamson, and I'm a lecturer.
And we are here to talk about a project we did last summer with our MSI TAM graduate students called the Ellensburg Fieldhouse. And our goal was to help the city of Ellensburg come to a decision about if and when they open a new field house, how it should be operated. Whether it should be operated completely underneath the city's auspices, whether it should be a public-private partnership, or whether they should outsource it completely to a private entity. Undergraduate project management students came up with a killer opening day plan.
The challenge with both our undergrad and grad students is really to give them an opportunity to practice the thing that they are learning. I liken it to surgery. Maybe surgeons don't feel it that way, but I think what's true is if you go to medical school, at some point you have to cut. And it's also true with our students. At some point, they're going to be a project manager. They're going to be assigned something where they don't have clear boundaries to it, and that's how they're going to learn what a scope is. They're not exactly sure even where this thing is going to be built, which was the case with us. We knew kind of where it was happening, but not really what it would be, and sort of the struggle with that, what that's like when you're doing it real time, as opposed to just flipping through the book to see the answer in the back. We gave them the experience of it with live stakeholders.
Real people who we zoomed into shared meetings with all three groups of students so they could ask questions and get very interesting answers, sometimes very surprising ones, and other times ones that we predicted. And then we had our students also research fieldhouse operations, so they combined what they were hearing from the stakeholders with what they were finding through their research. 4 days, maybe 5, before our final meeting with the city manager and the head of Ellensburg Parks and Recreation. The Ellensburg Racquet Club was burned to the ground. And just like in real life, that changed what we wanted to say to our stakeholders. Right. So we had our final meeting via Zoom with all these students and our stakeholders and took into account that the landscape of this project had changed 4 days before we were asked to stand and deliver.
That doesn't happen in the book, but that happens in real life all the time.
Having the hands-on impact was powerful both in terms of what students learned about building a business case or building a project plan. Mm-hmm. I think it bonded the cohorts. These groups of students really got to know each other. At least the students in my group were craving more. They wanted more interaction with their stakeholders, and they want to know like the life of their recommendations beyond the end of the class. 5 months later, I still get questions from them. Have you heard anything from the city? Are they using our research?
Given that it was completely new, they actually did extremely well. Most industries are moving away from this notion of just getting a job, moving away from job descriptions to project roles. We needed to come up with a way to embody that in the curriculum. They walked away from the quarter and from the project with a sense of fulfilling the role of a project manager as opposed to just learning the definition of a project manager.
If you want to try this in your class, I would go back to what you said about roles. And I would look for the roles that your students need to be prepared to play. Is there something happening in our community where those roles are needed? And our students, by engaging in them as part of a community project, could get that hands-on, tangible experience of what it's like to be in that role.
In any discipline, there's going to be, we call it a problem. And there are so many problems. And so our course in ITAM teaches them to, sift through the problems and sort of they have a process they learn to filter down to what's the core issue. And then we did our project around that. There are countless problems that need to be solved.